Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Jay, aka The Strategy, aka Mama. There goes that man again, aka I'm So Disrespectful, aka The Man by Many Names. You're tuning in to the AGM Project, and you're tuning in to another episode of the Walking Dead Review Show. This episode. Okay. Recap. Okay, the episode started off. Now, before we get into the episode, a while back, Rick and Shane went to go let the prisoner go. This was an episode ago, and somebody mentioned that Shane cut himself with the same knife that a walker cut him with, that he killed the walker with, and Shane cut himself with it. And people was like, shouldn't he be like a walker? We're gonna get back to that. She can wait. And it starts off with Rick speaking at Dale's funeral. Dale. It shows all of them killing walkers, right? And Rick basically said, we're gonna fix it. We're not going to we're going to honor Dale's memory by showing him that this group is broken. And you know, it shows them killing each other. It shows them killing the walkers, and right after that, you know, Herschel basically says, you know, I should have been moved you guys into the house. The creek's drying up with 40 bed with I forget how many cattle he said that he had, but he's like, with all the cattle and stuff, I should have been moved you guys into the house. The river around the house is drying up. I should have been did it. And Rick's right there, and he's giving out orders. You know, he's basically giving out orders to, you know, everybody and stuff. And he looks to Shane, and you know, he's like, Shane, divide up this and this. And he was like, you know, just in tough times so we can release the prisoner. And Shane looks at me like, are we back to releasing the prisoner again? And Rick was like, swallow it. Shut the fuck up and do what I say. And Shane was like, no. Shane was like, no. He was like, I can't do that. Make Daryl your second in command. Which everybody in the comments have been saying that Daryl has kind of morphed into the enforcer. You know, Rick's second in command. So Shane just had this look of broken on his face. Like he was just broken. Everybody's moving things in the house. And Carl, the little fuck up who got, you know, Dale killed, Carl comes up and he basically tells Shane what happened. And Shane went to Rick and told him, hey, you know, you need to talk to Walker, and he explained the situation to Rick, and he's like, you need to talk to Carl. And Rick was like, you know, I'm worried about this prisoner. And Shane was like, he's like, you're worrying about a prisoner more than your son? Once again, I want to make it clear that I like Shane. Okay? I liked Shane. I just didn't like his approach to the situation. I know a lot of people didn't like Shane. I don't feel that we have given him enough credit. I don't feel that we gave him enough credit for, A, walkers were going all around, and he at least tried to secure Rick. Keep in mind that if he wouldn't have closed the door and put the thing in front of Rick, Rick might have got eaten alive. We don't know what might have happened. At least he tried to secure him. Now, questions is, he could have tried to save him, but could he possibly have gotten out of that situation with Rick, you know, unconscious Rick, you know? And who's to say if he would have unhooked Rick from the machines and his wounds wasn't healed in time, that Rick wouldn't have died. He secured Rick, and not only that, he got Rick family out of Atlanta. People forget, until Rick came back in the picture, Shane kept the group alive. And I know some people gonna not like this, but under Shane watch, nobody died. So anyway, he finds Carl, and you know, he basically lets Carl know that, hey, you know, you need this gun. You need to protect yourself. He's like, I wish I could give you the childhood that I had, but that's not gonna happen. You need this gun. Okay. While he's doing that, Shane is fixing, setting up station, like fixing a little lookout tower on the windmill. And he's doing it by himself. And I'm not going to even call this bitch by her name. I'm just going to call her the bitch of the East. The bitch of the East walks up. And if you don't know who the bitch of the East is, then that means you just out of luck. The bitch of the East walks up and explains. She's like, You know, and I feel like, and I kind of felt sorry for her character in this sense, because I felt her. I've always said since I've been doing my reviews that the bitch of the East, which is Lori, loves Rick, but she loves Rick. She hates his personality. She hates Shane, but she loves personality. She wish Rick had Shane personality. I've told you guys this since day one, and she's constantly been trying to manipulate to make Rick more like Shane. So she would, and I really felt like she manipulated them to, you know, and people, a lot of people, you know, some people might think that she did that to try to manipulate the situation even more when she went to talk to Shane, and she was like, I don't know who baby this is, I don't know what's going on, yada yada yada. And she basically, when she wouldn't talk to Shane, and you know, I really feel like she was speaking from the heart. I feel like that she was absolutely speaking from the heart, for one reason and one reason only. She has nothing to gain from it. She had nothing to gain from it, from the simple fact that Rick and Shane were already at odds with each other. I mean, what was she doing? Playing the fence? Some people might argue that, but once again, the show shifted to where Shane was the outcast, really. He was the outcast because his way of thinking didn't fit with everybody else. Most of the people favored Rick, with the exception of Andrea. She's the only one who didn't favor Rick. People have to understand that Shane was a monster, but Shane was a monster created by circumstances. So Shane walks into the barn, and you know, he's basically going insane. I think this is what's wrong with Shane. Shane was turning into a walker, and maybe we just didn't realize this shit, because this is what I'm saying. He basically takes the prisoner and convinces him that he wasn't going to kill him, that he was actually going to set him free. So the prisoner tells him the last place to camp, and he basically snaps the prisoner's neck. Shane does. He takes him out in the middle for it, convinces him that, hey, I'm not going to kill you, I'm tied to this group, take me to your group. And you know, and the prisoner, he's like, okay. He's like, where's the last time you located? The guy told him where the last camp was, and Shane lets him go ahead, and he snaps the kid's neck. Now, they don't show him snapping his neck, but they imply that he killed him, or at least knocked him unconscious. So he breaks his own nose to make it look as though the kid blindsided him. He goes back to the farm, he tells them, they posse up and they go look for him. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. He gets Rick alone, and Rick knows something isn't right, you know, because you know, they're like, the kid was 120 pounds soaking wet. He got the jump on you. And Shane's like, hey man, we don't need to look for tracks. He went that way. You guys go that way. And me and Rick are going to go this way. He wants to get Rick along. He gets Rick in a form. And Rick kind of, I guess Rick figures it out as they're walking. He's like, so this is where you're going to do it? Shane was like, better place than any. He's basically about to kill Rick. And he got a gun, and Rick, you know, was like, no, Shane, no. And they're talking in a circle, and Rick was like, you're a bad father. You, even now, in the face of death, you won't draw your gun. And Rick's like, no, I'm not going to draw my gun. Rick actually holsters his firearm. He's like, I'm not going to draw my gun. He was like, you know, he was like, fight. He's like, no, I'm not going to draw my gun. He's like, we can still go back to the farm. You know, we can still do this. And he's like, I thought we settled all that. And Shane was like, man, we try to kill each other. Did you just think that wasn't like that was just gonna go under the table? Which they did try to kill each other. And Rick's like, I'm not gonna draw my gun. He's like, draw your weapon. So Rick pulls his gun out. He's like, here, we can still go back. Rick's talking him down, and Shane's kind of listening. And then out of nowhere, Rick comes into like close quarter, and he stabs him in the chest. That's right. Rick stabbed Shane in the chest. I told you guys that fight did not resolve shit. It was still on and cracking between them. Rick stabbed him in the chest. But the sad part is, Rick didn't really want to do it. Rick's yelling at Shane like, why did you make me do this? This is your fault. You made me do this. Why did you make me do this? Now, Rick's crying and hysterical because he just killed his best friend. You know, And then all of a sudden, you know, they start showing like walkers eating flesh and stuff, and I'm looking at the television like, why are they showing all this? And you know, Carl, that little bitch, he shows up once again out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, pops up. Where are you guys going? He's crying, and Rick is like, it's not what you look. And Carl raises his gun up, and at first I'm like, oh shit, Carl gonna kill his daddy. But out of the blue, Shane pops up as a walker, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm looking at the TV like, and Carl puts him down, and we see these herds of walkers coming towards them. So, and they kind of lead the episode off like that, like they do a small shot, and you see Rick and Carl, and then you see swarms and swarms of walkers. So Shane's dead. Shane was a walker. Once again, this goes back to the point where somebody said he used the same knife that he used to kill a walker. Or you can even go back to the point where Shane was like, none of them have any, nobody's bitten. You know? How did they turn the walkers back when they saw those two cops? There's like even a scratch. So this is gonna bring up who else is infected. And this is just a damn good episode, man. Personally, my predictions on who I think is gonna die next. I think Carl. I think Carl is on the way out. And the reason why I say that is because Carl is pregnant. Now, I don't think that she's pregnant anymore. Personally, I think that she lost the baby in a car crash when she flipped the car. And I just don't think she knows yet, because if you think about it, it's been a little minute since she found out she was pregnant, and she's still not showing or anything, nothing. So, you know, so, yeah, that's just it. Great episode once again. Thumbs up, man. So, you guys leave comments, tell me what you think about it. You guys tell me who you think is who's the next to die, and tell me do you guys think that Carl is the creepiest, weirdest kid ever? I mean, this little kid just pops up out of the blue in the damnedest situations. Just pop up. So man, like I said, great episode. R.I.P. to the homie Shane. I know a lot of you guys ain't gonna like that, but you guys gotta look at the facts that I stated already. Shane did a lot, man. Shane did a lot. He wasn't the greatest guy, but he kept the group safe. I'm your boy Jay, aka the man by many names, and I'm signing off. Konnichiwa, bitches.